SFL Nation, and welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Striker. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decide to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. I really appreciate it, y'all. Season 16 finally here. First games are happening on January the 23rd, Saturday, and the 24th. And I'm going to happy to give you the rundown on the games, where to find them, who's playing, and my picks. Followed with great fourth and goal interviews with Mr. Chad Roland. Also, Tom Welsh and Yogi Barr with me tonight, talking about their new positions that they just, league staff positions and new coaching positions that came available for them. Awesome stuff. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, so we have here the Simulation Football League's Week 1 review. Now, on Saturday, January 23rd, Arizona and Baltimore will be taking on each other at 4:30 p.m. on TV 11 Sports, streaming on For the Fans Twitch network, and I am definitely going to go for Arizona. I mean, you know, I can't go against my team. I don't care if they are the champs or not. And then next up at 5:05 p.m., Tulsa Desperados will be taking on the Atlanta Swarm on TV ESN bonus coverage and streaming on SFL Twitch. This is hard. My old team versus my home Atlanta team. I think I'm going to go with Atlanta on this one. Fort Worth is taking on Queen City at 6:40 p.m. on television, 11 Sports Network, streaming For the Fans Twitch TV. I am going to go with Queen City on this one. Louisiana will be taking on Vancouver at 7:15 p.m. also on Saturday. TV ESN bonus coverage, streaming on SFL Twitch channel. Very good game to watch. I think that Louisiana is going to win this game. Probably not by very much, but I think that they will win. Florida will be taking on the Lone Star Glory at 9 p.m. streaming on LSN For the Fans Facebook and Twitch TV. I am going to go with Florida on this one. I think Mighty, every time Mighty switches up his playbooks, that week 1, you never know what to expect from him. Well, I guess that's the same thing can be said for all teams, but Mighty especially, because he changes things up so much. Next up, Carolina will be taking on the Carolina Skyhawks will be taking on the Las Vegas Fury at 9:20 p.m. streaming on SFL Twitch channel, and I am going to go with I'm actually going to go with Carolina on this one. I think that with Harish and with Sir Chappelle over there, I think they're going to do some wonderful things together. So we're going to see how that plays out. On Sunday, January the 24th at 11:30 a.m. Ooh, early morning games. The London Knights will be taking on the DC Dragons, streaming on For the Fans and For the Fans Twitch. I am going to go with... I'm actually going to go with London on this one. 12:05 p.m. Houston Hyenas will be taking on the Jacksonville Kings, streaming on For the Fans bonus coverage and SFL Twitch. Ooh, going to be a fantastic game to watch, but I think Jacksonville is going to take this game. At 1:40 p.m. San Diego Mavericks will be taking on the Los Angeles Vikings, streaming on For the Fans and For the Fans Twitch. I'm going to go with, two new expansion teams taking on each other. I think San Diego is going to win this game. At 2:15 p.m., Mexico City Aztecs will be taking on the Charleston Predators, streaming on For the Fans bonus coverage. and SFL Twitch channel. And I'm going to go with the Mexico City Aztecs on this one. 9 p.m. The Denver Night Wings will be taking on the Sioux Falls Sparrows. Streaming on LSN for the Fans Facebook and / Twitch TV. I am going to go with, this is going to be another hard, difficult game to call, but I think I'm going to go with Sioux Falls on this one. And at 9:20 p.m., the St. Louis Gladiators will be taking on the Portland Fleet, streaming on SFL Twitch channel. And I'm going to say that Portland is going to win this game. And as you can see at the bottom of the flyer that I have up here, all times are Eastern times. We have SFL on 11 Sports Network, For the Fans Network, LSN Network, Twitch For the Fans plus Twitch, and Facebook Watch, which is a new thing. So this is going to be absolutely amazing. I can't wait to see how everything shakes out. And if you want more information, please feel free to visit www.simulationfl.net for more details. And now, my Fourth and Goal interviews. Stay tuned. And welcome back to SFL Nation. I have one of my good friends here with me that has been, I've known him since season 13, and his name is Mr. Chad Roland, GM and defensive tackle of the London Knights. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Ash. How are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. And listen, I want to apologize because it's been so long since you've been back on, man.
I know it's been like 3 seasons.
I know, right? And time went by so fast. Like
I hadn't even signed a contract yet when I got on your show.
That's true.
Yeah, I hadn't even been on a contract yet.
Man, and you've done so much since then, and I'm just happy and excited to be able to share that with all of my listeners and watchers and things like that. But before we get into all of that, for people that did not get a chance to see you, well, to hear our episode, because I wasn't even on visual or anything like that then, give us a brief overview of yourself. So your name, your age, if Chad is not your name, your age, your hometown, some interesting facts about yourself, and your favorite NFL team.
Oh, man. All right. So my name is actually Chad Roland. So I'm 36. I am from Indianapolis, Indiana. So born and raised in Indy. I'm not a Colts fan. I grew up a Dallas Cowboy fan. So, going back in the 90s, it was a team to have, America's team. They haven't been America's team probably since 95, but whatever. I'm a project manager, so I do I have a lot of different projects going at one time, and then for myself, I have 5 kids. Being 36 with 5 kids, you keep busy. So
you're right about that, and I guess you do have the right background as far as being a project manager, because you have a lot of hats right now.
Like a little bit, yeah.
Because when we first met, you were just getting introduced to the league and everything was brand new, and you were trying to see how you were going to make an impact, and Lord and behold, there you have,
Yeah, I know.
So tell us, how'd you find us anyway?
I was looking through different YouTube videos and stuff about all pro football just because it was a game I used to enjoy playing. And I actually had a 360, so I was actually looking to see if anybody was even doing anything with it anymore. And then I actually came up on a game between Baltimore and Vegas. I think it was Vegas, which is ironically where I started at, in Baltimore. And so I watched it and I was like, okay, this is interesting because I've always done the simming sports stuff, on my own. And so to have that as a community with other people that did it, I was like, all right, this is interesting. And then I joined in, and one of the first people that actually reached out to me was TJ from Baltimore. And it was just, I was just hooked from day one.
Speaking of Baltimore, how did you actually join the team? Were you drafted on the team, or did you come as a non-contract?
So I joined up right before, I believe, they announced the TV deal.
Okay.
And that was when, because of the influx of people that came in at that time, they were talking about doing the non-contract from couch to field thing, if you remember that. Yes. So I think it was week 7 of season 13, that was when the first signings of non-contract players happened, and I was one of those first signings.
Okay, and what was that experience like being on Baltimore?
I mean, I learned so much from Baltimore. I mean, obviously it's being week 7, and then by the time that we hit the first playoff win against Atlanta in season 13, that was when I got promoted up to GM. And just once I got into that role and just started working with TJ nonstop, it was just, I had so much fun doing it. I mean, it was such a blast, and I learned so much from the guy.
Yeah, they're a good group of guys over there in Baltimore, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's a great team to start, and I know you learned a lot from TJ and T-Pat too. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me, what made you leave so abruptly?
There was a lot of things that were going on during season 15. I had some stuff going on privately anyway, but and I kind of took that out on the SFL a little bit. Some of the things that went down between the Wildcats and the Revolution stuff, and with Shan and all that. We won't get into all those details, but I thought that the league kind of handled it not in a good way at that time, and so I decided to leave. It was one of those things where I thought, I would take a stand against what I thought was wrong, and then, that was in retrospect now, looking back, I probably shouldn't have done that at all. But decisions were made, and it wouldn't be where I am right now. So
do you still have any ill feelings towards that?
No, the good thing about that is when I came back, I had like almost a 3-hour long conversation with Cam about everything, and just kind of laid it all out there on the line and told him everything that I felt. And because there were some things too between me and Cam, which I'm not going to get into about that, but that were resolved through that phone call. And we had such a great conversation, and it just really made my love for the SFL return again. I mean, I was already hooked back into it anyway. It was even kind of like what he said. He was like, I hear the enthusiasm and the love you have for the SFL, and when you're on Access Live, what's going on. And so we had this great talk, and it's been good ever since. So no ill feelings towards the SFL at all.
Awesome. That's good. Yep. Well, I guess you wouldn't be back if you did.
True. So. I mean, if I did, I wouldn't be back. You're right.
But so Baltimore won their first championship last season. How do you feel about that? And how do you feel about missing it by that much, man? You could have been.
I know. You're right. Some of the things that happened during this past, during season 15 when I left, that's one of the big regrets. Actually, the biggest regret was just leaving TJ, leaving Baltimore. Because it was such a great group. I was able to help bring some of these rookies in, like Mac Chima was my first draft pick. Bringing in guys like Ben Stack and Paper and Nolan Pierce, and just Frank Smith, another great guy that we brought in as well. I mean, it just in the team camaraderie. Working with TJ. Being able to talk with T-Roy and Jack Wigmore and Giovanni and all these guys. I mean, it was such a great locker room to be in. And I knew, and I kept calling it, I knew this team was going to win the title. It was just a matter of when. And it just so happened to be season 15, after I left. But, it is what it is. I'm excited for him. I celebrated. I had a cigar that was actually in a humidor that was ready to go for that moment. And I joined them that night and had a cigar after the championship game. And, hey, now they're my division rival. So
I know. I'm going to ask you about that too. That's going to be interesting. But, T-Roy always gives me a hard time, because he's always stealing my players. When I was on Tulsa, he stole Garrett from us, Yeah. Then we would often argue about you and stuff like that. I was like, come on, man, But you definitely. He is. Yeah. But you make an impact wherever you go. And in my opinion, Baltimore's loss of your services was the best thing that could have happened to London in terms of the culture. You basically go and you make an impact so much so that you do tend to change the entire cultures of teams sometimes. And I'm just wondering, how do you feel, or do you feel any pressure going to London and kind of, well, you're the GM over there too, and you're the defensive tackle, but how do you feel about that pressure that's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's pressure, obviously. I mean, you know, when you go 2-10, 2-10, and 3-9 in the past 3 seasons, and you're coming in to change not only the culture but to change everything on the field and off the field. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on you, obviously. But you know, one of my good friends in this league is Tanner Hendricks. Me and Tanner have talked all the time. You know, even before I joined up in London about the possibility of teaming up together. I actually was thinking about having him team up with me in Baltimore, to be quite honest. But, you know, we talked and we both felt that, you know, we wanted an opportunity to be able to turn around a franchise and turn around the reputation of a team. And what better place to do that than London? I mean, you know, you had coaches that were getting run out, or not being run out, but, you know, leaving on their own terms, players that came to me and talked about London before I joined up. And, you know, but with this situation, you know, leaving Baltimore was a fantastic, it's a wonderful franchise. It's one of the best franchises in the SFL, hands down. And they have such a great culture. And I learned exactly how to keep that culture and build that culture with TJ and T-Pat and those guys. You know, when I came back, I had one job circled in my mind, and that was London. Being able to not only, you know, to solidify myself, because I try to be the best GM I can, you know, to be the best GM, to be the most well-known GM in the SFL. So if I can do something where I could turn around not only the on-field product, but off-field product for London, that's a win-win for me.
Definitely. So what did you learn in Baltimore that will help you achieve the goals and turning around the culture in London?
You know, just the relationships that TJ has with these players, you know, and he always taught me about, you know, getting to know everybody on a, you know, not just a professional level, but a personal level. You know, I reached out to these people and like my teammates and talked to them and just try to be the best, you know, example that I can be. You know, so bringing that type of culture and bringing that winning franchise culture over to London was key to me. You know, first thing I did was reach out to each and every one of these guys, introduce myself, wanted to get to know what they wanted to see out of London, what they wanted out of London football. And just, you know, hey, you know, let them know I'm here to change things. I'm here to make this a winning franchise, you know, to talk about London, to get people to talk about London in a positive light, not in a negative light.
Gotcha. Because they have had their share of negativity. I'll tell you that. But
yeah, I mean, in their entire franchise history, I believe it's been, I think they won 21 games in their entire franchise history since season 10. So, you know, looking to turn that around for sure.
Yeah, but you know, I often have issues with people that talk smack about teams that aren't as winning, because it's very hard to be a coach. Let alone if you have a family, like you have 5 children. You have people that travel and they have to take their Xbox with them everywhere to get the, you know, sim games. And, you know, people work very hard on the product that they're putting out there in the field. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Exactly. And season, like the end of season 14 and the beginning of 15, I was really kind of working behind the scenes with TJ on learning that type of ordeal, and just seeing what you got to go through week in and week out was just, it was a real eye opener. And even now, you know, I've been, you know, it's been a team effort here in London to try to, you know, to turn our playbook around and turn around the way we play on the field. And all of us have been involved. Every one of us has been involved in this. And, you know, running sims and doing this and that. I mean, in my mind, I could see somebody like Eddie Gage, for example, having a carry-on just for his Xbox. You know, and you know, if I ever had to travel and stuff, I'd be taking it with me. That way I could run sims and make sure these guys, you know, make sure that we're all on the same page and working together. So, yeah, being a coach is a very different ordeal than I thought it would be. And you put in so much time and effort, but when you do that, you see the product on the field. You see what happens. You win ball games.
Absolutely. And you get the sense of satisfaction, you know, when you win, and then you take those losses very seriously, because you have 19, 20 other guys that are looking at you as coach, and you're like, hey, why aren't we winning? Yep. And then you have to worry about the team retention because of that, things like that. So yeah,
and all the hours that coaches put in and stuff. Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, even just in the small amount of time that I've been helping out and doing it, there's been so many hours that I have put into this, and it's just, I'm wanting to see the results on the field. And if we win this Sunday, then that's great. I'm going to be pumped up, and the rest of the team will be pumped up, and they'll be seeing all those hours that we've been putting in.
Yeah, definitely. So, the big question is, what are you thinking about that game? With Baltimore actually being your rivals now. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's going to be fun to me. Being able to go up against the guy that really taught me a lot about what this game's about. And Jack too. I mean, Jack is a special talent in this league that nobody can just deny. He did such a great job during that past season being an associate head coach for them. Going up against those guys and then seeing them on the field again is going to be a little different just because I'll be, in these colors and not in the black. But it's going to be fun too at the same time.
Speaking of coaching opportunities, congratulations. You are now the coach over at Lexington for the SFL team, the Lexington Miners.
The Lexington Miners. Yep. Thank you.
Awesome. So, okay, tell us the whole story of how you even got to that point and who the Lexington Miners actually are.
Yeah, so part of this last season, in season 15, I believe when they announced that they were going to expand by 4 teams, this was right before I left. And I was talking to actually TJ back and forth about it for a while, and I was like, I really want to do it, like just because I want to, be able to add to my resume in the SFL, not only being a great GM, but also being a great coach. And so he was giving me some advice about what to do, and then I decided to go ahead and put in for it. And then when they announced those 4 expansion teams, I was actually one of them. So I actually got the Lexington Miners. But the problem was during that time was they didn't have a lot of influx of players that were coming in. So in the end, it was decided that Lexington was to fold. Obviously, and part of that happened because I left the league as well. But it was kind of in the cards anyway, I think. So they folded them. When I came back, one of the things I wanted to do after me and Tanner were talking back and forth was I want to go get my team back, if I can even get my team back. So I messaged, DC a couple times and was just like, hey, I'm really interested in coming back. I want to be part of the Miners because the league has given me so much. I want to return the favor kind of way, you know what I mean? So I know that I didn't go through the minor league system like all these players are now, but to be able to, come in and teach these guys like, hey, this is what you need to do for interviews. This is how you need to progress your player. This is how you get into the league. Is something to me that I feel like that's me giving thanks to Cam and the rest of the people who've made this league what it is.
So do you think you're going to want to tiring yourself out because you're GM and defensive tackle over in London? You help out with various other things in the league. I know you do stats. I know you do some beat writing as well. And then you got to coach at the SFL. It seems like you're not going to have some time off.
But that's it though. I want to, all my free time that I have, I want to be able to put it into the league, now obviously I'll have free time with family and stuff, but the free time I don't have after that, I want to put it all back into the league, with London. We have a great team in there for sure this season, with Jack Lewis coming in as a scout for us. He's nothing but phenomenal. I want to just give him a shout out on this show because for what he's done for us so far has been just nothing short of amazing. I'm actually making him the offensive coordinator for Lexington. That way he can get some experience in the minors. He's been helping us develop some playbooks and this and that, and I want to see what he can do. So he's going to be the offensive coordinator, and then actually Tom Tanner, who was drafted by St. Louis, is going to be the defensive coordinator in Lexington. Nice. So giving some rookies the opportunity to come in and then be able to, what I want is to show the rookies that I have now, or the minor league players that I have now, that, hey, you could be a minor league player. Then next season you could be right in these guys' spots, helping coach teams and telling these younger players like, hey, this is what you can be. So in Lexington, like I said, it's going to be a great opportunity. I'm very thankful for it. Jeff Gagne is also on the staff as well as assistant coach. He was with Indianapolis last season. So being already familiar with those players, I wanted somebody that can come in and them guys know. And, I'm ready for it. I wish it was actually tomorrow, to be honest with you. Even along with the SFL, let's just run them simultaneously. I mean,
there you go. Cam will lose all his hair. All right.
Yeah, he pulled all of his hair out.
So tell me, are you going to be hands-on with these guys as far as their progression goes, kind of guiding them, or are you going to kind of let them Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, to me, I helped build progression plans in Baltimore. I helped build the progression plans here. I want to get to where like I'm working with Jack and working with Tom on these, on how they can build progression plans. Jeff is actually my assistant GM in London, so he's actually been already involved in this sort of process. So teaching these guys how to, better themselves in the SFL to maybe they could be GM someday. Teaching these guys what I know that I've learned is one of my number one goals. And really the number one goal being the Lexington head coach is to get these guys drafted, to tell them what they need to do in these interviews, because there's a lot of rookies that have come in and I've done plenty of interviews. Trust me. I mean, I think in Baltimore that first season, I did 85 interviews or something for just one draft pick. Yeah. And even this past season in London, I mean, we already knew who we wanted to take anyway, but I did quite a few interviews and I got Jeff involved in those. So, just having that sort of, experience is key, I think. And these guys are going to learn all that stuff in Lexington.
Do you ever think about being the owner of a major team?
I've thought about it. I mean, I actually have a design and everything already ready to go. Yeah, I know.
The Tokyo Samurais. I'm sorry.
No, it is not the Tokyo Samurais. No, I mean, I do have a team design in mind if that ever happens. But I'm taking it one thing at a time.
Hey,
obviously, I think that being able to be a GM in Baltimore and then being able to coach, I'm trying to build an impressive resume. Let's put it that way. For when I do get an opportunity, if there is an opportunity to be able to be an owner, then we can't say no situation to the owners in that mind.
I like it. Last question, because I know you got to get ready to go.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, cool.
You got time.
So where do you see yourself in a year's time in the SFL and in life? Normally I say about 5 years, but we're going to kind of scale it down a little bit.
I mean, let's see. In real life, just staying healthy, obviously. Making more money, obviously. Just enjoying my time with the kids and stuff and the wife. But in the SFL, I mean, I wouldn't mind hoisting that trophy this season in London, but that's a long way to go. So we're taking it one game at a time. But if I had to guess a year off, a year from now, I would think that for London to be a playoff contending team, for everybody to have the impression that London is a really good place to be, and then it's all thanks to these guys that are in there now. Because, the people I have, I mean, I could come in there and do what I can do all day, but, having guys like Jeff Gagne and Tanner and Benji Matson and these guys that are here now, I want people to say, well, this was a collective effort and they really turned this franchise around.
All right. Okay. Now, is there a team that you are particularly looking forward, besides Baltimore, that you are particularly looking forward to playing this season? And is there one that you're like, I hate to have to play these guys. I've got to.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I'm really looking forward to playing everybody. Obviously, but if I had to pick one team that I'm kind of like about, it's probably Lone Star. I mean, just because I know all them guys. They're all great guys. Bo Martin obviously left London to go to Lone Star. They're putting together something very good over there, a very special team. I think they're going to be I think they're a top 5 team at the end of the season, to be honest. And so that's one team that if I can't put Baltimore in there, that's one team I'm kind of like about. Yeah. Like I said, I'm looking forward to just playing everybody. I mean, you guys are going to be tough too. I mean, we got you in week 3. So it's not that little stretch right there, week 3, week 4, week 5. We have at Arizona, at Baltimore, and then at home against Lone Star. So that's 3 tough games right there, back to back to back. But everybody else, I'm really looking forward to just playing, to be honest. Week 1 going up against DC and a quote unquote expansion franchise, even though Destro's been around a while. It's gonna be fun to watch.
And it's gonna be fun to watch because you don't know what people are actually gonna do. That first game is a doozy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's what I've been telling these guys in London. It's like, we're not gonna come out all firing all cylinders. I mean, we want to, but we're just it's up to the APF gods on everything. So, we can put the game plans in and we can predict, we can best game plan for what's going to happen, what we think is going to happen. But people just got to remember that's just how it works in this league.
So the logo behind you is not only London, but it's also the Lexington Miners.
Yeah, that's the Miners logo, correct.
Who came up with that? Was that?
That was actually, the league comes up with the logos.
Okay.
But actually, I believe I got TJ to help me do this.
Nice. Okay.
So he helped me out with that logo, if I remember correctly. But that was back when I had him the first time. So I've just kept all this stuff ever since.
Nice.
For one day that I can have him back.
Because I don't know if it was a Matt Dole creation or if it was something.
No, it's the logo that's in the game, if I remember correctly.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, listen, Chad, I am so glad that you made an appearance, that you decided to come and grace my show with your presence, man, always. I do plan on having some guest hosts on this season to help give us the rundown of the game. So if you'd like to do that, man, just let me know. I'd love to have you.
Let me know.
Okay.
Let's not make it 3 seasons before I'm back on here.
Listen.
I don't want to be back to season 20.
No, we're going to make it definitely sooner than that. But do you have any questions for me before I let you go?
Let me ask you. So how, in your mind, is Arizona going to be this season? Because really, here's my thought: is you guys are right there. On the cusp. DJ Moses, I think, is going to be a hell of a back this season, and I think you are going to turn your game around. I've predicted that. But how do you feel, because you're co-GM too? So how do you feel that your team is going to be this season?
I think that we're going to fare very well. When Bernard asked me that last week, I told him I believe we're going 8-4, and I still believe that. I know we're going to take some L's, but I think overall, I've watched Eddie and I watched Larry. I watched him literally take our playbook and just change everything around. Yeah. Because we couldn't keep checking it down to DJ. Everybody figured that's what we're going to do, and we saw what happened. We won like the first three games. So it was definitely, it took a change in some of our personnel, and it took a change in the way that our playbooks were designed in order for us to be able to become this 8-4 season, 8-4 team that I believe that we will become. And I think we have a really good chance to make the playoffs and go deep in, if not make it to the championship.
You know what? I think you do too. Just because the one thing I've noticed, and everybody knows too, but if you haven't talked to him, but Eddie Gage is one of, if not the hardest working dudes in the SFL, period. Really. I've had some great conversations with him. Did he ever tell you the conversation I had about Bernard Smith?
No.
So in the midst of all this stuff, I was interviewing rookies left and right. And Bernard was one of the guys that I interviewed, and I messaged Eddie and was like, this guy screams Scorpions. And I was like, when I was talking to him, I was like, he didn't tell me he was interested in Scorpions or anything like that, but it was just the way that Bernard Smith talked to me. I was just like, man, he would be perfect for Eddie.
Yeah.
And I kept telling Eddie, I was like, you're going to draft him. Just tell me that and just be done with it. And then when they took him, I was like, I think I remember I sent a message. I was like, see, I told you.
You could have asked me. I would have told you. But,
But, to me, like I said, I think you guys are going to be a hell of a team. I think TJ Punk, I think Everson, you guys have really had a great free agency too. Everett Garrison was a great pickup. TJ Punk, I think, is going to be an underrated tight end in this league. Just like Benji Matson. I think Benji Matson, the calendar boy for the tight end calendar, I think he's going to be a hell of a tight end. So, but I, wish you the best of luck this season, except for week 3.
Same.
And I hope to see you guys in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, I want to see London, more fish and chips be handed out.
I do too. I mean, so I've been saying, we went 2-10 last season.
Mm-hmm.
My thinking is if we go with 5 wins, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy because that's one, that's doubling your victories. And 2, I think we can actually be a little bit better than that. But 5 wins, if I got if I was 5-7, I'm happy, to be honest.
Yes. And that's that's how we look at things as well. As long as you do better than you did last season.
Exactly.
Win 2 or 3 more games, then you have no choice but to continue down that road. So.
Because then that's really showing that that we are turning things around. Because it's been a fun offseason because in Baltimore, you have 1 draft pick, you may have picked up a free agent because nobody really leaves Baltimore.
Nobody.
There's 2 things in Baltimore. 1, nobody ever leaves, and 2, you always drown the Sky Reds. So with I haven't said that in forever. I have not said that to Harish since I joined London because it's not right. I feel dirty if I say it now. But those are things that it was always kind of okay, we know what the offseason is going to bring. Here it's been totally different.
Yeah.
Trying to rebuild an entire culture. We cut a couple of guys. Some people that were kind of questionable for the franchise, and really just changing the culture. And everybody here is just, from what Liam even told me, Liam's more excited than he's ever been for this season. And all these players that have been in London are more excited than they have been since they've been there. So, and bringing a guy back like Saren Storm too was a key piece as well, because Saren was one of those guys that was frustrated and left, and then coming back and seeing what the new focus is of the franchise and how the culture is here. That's what I wanted to happen, and that's what's been happening so far. And we're very happy with where London is right now.
You find a way to make an impact every time, Chad.
I try to do what I can do.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for being on the show, but I cannot let you leave without giving you the last word. So that can be a simple shout out. That can be a poem or a song. Now, come on, man. You've already done the shout outs. I'm trying to get people to be a little bit.
I am not going to sing. I'm not going to sing. It would be terrible. it would sound like a wounded duck. So, it might be like a really weird Barry White impression if we try to do that. But to me, last word is just, like I've been saying this entire time in this league, London's coming. We're a different team. You can't just overlook us. We're going to be competitive each and every single game. I'm excited about all the players that are on this London franchise. Angus McLean is going to be a leader in this locker room. He's going to be fantastic. Look out for rookies Cyrock Black and Emmanuel Blackman. They're going to make an impact immediately. Jeff Gagne being a one of the best linebackers in the league, along with XxIntimaXx Scarborough. And don't forget about Chad Roland on the defensive line, damn it. Don't forget. I'm just kidding. But no, William Davidson and then Chad Roland beefing up the middle.
Yeah.
Robert Merrill's going to be a beast this season. Look out for that. And then all these other players that we have, we're all going to be fantastic, I think. And everybody's going to have so much fun. But just look out for London this season. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for y'all, and I wish y'all the best of luck, okay?
All right. Well, thank you. Remember, don't let it be more than 3 seasons before I'm back on here.
You look, probably week 4. We'll see how it works out week 3.
Let's do it.
If you win, then I don't know how you.
We'll see. All
right, man. Peace out.
All right. Peace out.
All right, and we are back with another good friend of mine, Mr. Yogi Barr, defensive end for the Lone Star Glory. How you doing, Yogi?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful. It's been such a long time, and again, I must apologize. How many seasons has it been?
This will be my 3rd season, so we're just a little over 2 seasons back. A year ago.
Wow. Long time, man. Long time.
Time flies.
It does. But for all of our new listeners out there, give us a little small overview of yourself, Yogi. So, your name, if you feel comfortable, your age, your hometown, interesting facts about yourself, and your favorite NFL team.
All right. My name is Andy Bradham. I go by Drew, Andy, whatever. My favorite NFL team is the Minnesota Vikings. Most anybody in the league knows that. defensive end for Lone Star. I stumbled upon this one night, late at night. We started watching some games, and next thing you know, I was in playing. It's been a wonderful experience. I loved it. I played college football. I played football all growing up. So it's just in my blood, and any way to stay in the game, I'll stay in the game. And I stumbled upon this and found a home.
So
what did I miss?
Well, the interesting facts about yourself?
Well, I'm a retired mailman. I'm 61 years old. I did my 32 years of delivering that mail. Richmond, Virginia is my hometown. Doug Britton and our own Mr. Ray Bentley are from the same town. I think Andrew is from Northern Virginia.
Oh, that's great.
There's a bunch of us Virginians now.
It's a small world, I'll tell you that.
It is.
Oh, man. So a retired mailman. So were you getting chased a lot by dogs? Oh, never?
I carried dog biscuits. They would come wait in the truck for me. I didn't have any problem with dogs. You catch more bees with honey than you do vinegar.
There you go. All day long.
Yep.
But I know you mentioned that, you were kind of switching through the channels one night and you just happened to catch some of the games for the SFL.
Yep.
Isn't it all it takes, though, for you to just catch that one moment that kind of captivates you?
Yeah. If football's in your blood, it is. Because, I do fantasy. I do all that stuff. But this is so much better. I've been doing fantasy since the early 80s, and this just takes the cake. I love it.
And I think it's because you do hear yourself, you hear your name called out on the field, and you really feel that this is you that's out here making these plays, whether it's good or bad,
When you play team sports for your whole life, I just gave up baseball and softball about 5 years ago.
Okay.
You miss the locker room, you miss the bench, you miss the camaraderie, and this kind of gives it to you in its own little way. That's what I love about it.
Very true. Were you a defensive end and when you were playing football?
I played most every position, but in college I was a fullback. So I was your protector in college.
Now I'm trying to evade you now, huh?
Yes, ma'am. And I'm gonna chase you down as far as I can.
Yeah, I know. Y'all could try. See, you sound just like Andre Cram over there. You're like, you could try.
I'm gonna give it my best. You know that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Especially at Lone Star, you guys have a knack for doing that.
Yes, we do. We got a good defense.
Very true. So you've had some interesting changes that happened since you have been in the league. I know you were at Charleston at one time.
Yep, first year. So first, explain how was it to be a member of the Charleston Predators, and then kind of tell us how you transitioned over to Lone Star Glory. The Charleston Predators I enjoyed my time there. It was a great first year. It was a good place for me to land and learn. We had a good team. I enjoyed the locker room. But when the Lone Star popped up, a whole bunch of us rookies from season 14 had gotten together and had a little chat room while we tried to figure all this out. We took the information, we'd share it with each other. We were trying to figure out how all this worked. And we kicked around a joke about, maybe one day we'll have our own team. And boom, year 2, Lone Star popped up, and half our team is from that rookie room.
Oh, man, it's crazy how you can kind of speak things into existence without even knowing it.
Yep. The only problem was Access was in that room. I can't fix that.
Y'all are nuts. You always give David a hard time.
Oh, yeah.
So tell us, what is the differences between the two locker rooms? What's the difference in the Charleston's locker room versus Lone Star? Lone Star seems like a party, straight up.
It's more family in Lone Star. We get together every week. We simulate games. We simulate basketball games. We get on there and we just cut up. We just have fun, just like a real locker room. Charleston's was great. I didn't have any problem there. I enjoyed my time there. Alan was great to me. It's just, this is like the guys I came up with, and we got our own team, and it just happened. Love it.
More information about Alan. What is he like? Because I think I've only interviewed him maybe once. But what is he like as a coach and as a person? He's
by the book. He's you can tell it's I want to say investment, but not really investment, but time investment. He's detail oriented. He runs a good ship. I'm not gonna tell any more because he might take me out. I can't tell any of the secrets. I was sworn to secrecy on all that.
He's a mafia member or something? What's going on?
I'm not going to say any more.
Okay, that's awesome though. That's awesome. So with you just got promoted into a league role.
Yes.
So what is your official title now?
Assistant to the Director of Personnel. So I'm assistant to Marcus and Ray.
Oh, nice. So how does that feel?
I'm can't wait to get in it and get going because numbers are my game. I got an accounting degree from '83, and I was a mailman, so at least now I finally get to use it.
There you go.
Yeah, but when I took accounting, we were counting sticks and stones. We didn't have computers.
Stop it.
So it's different now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll do anything to help the league because I think this league is awesome. So there was an opening. I told Marcus, consider me, and he did his interview process, and somehow he chose me.
Oh, phenomenal. So what will your job actually entail?
I'll be doing, I guess it's a year to get my feet wet. I'll be taking care of 4 teams, all their progressions, double checking everything to make sure it's accurate, and then data inputting it for the league. Okay.
So it will be better because I know Tom and Ray were doing this last season. And since they both are new owners of LA, they probably did need the extra assistance because they have so much other responsibilities, plus helping Marcus as well.
And plus just the pure numbers of people.
Yeah.
It's a lot, from what I'm learning already, it's a lot of work that goes in the background of this that people have no idea. So much work.
True.
Yep.
Tell me, have you done stats for the league?
I've done stats in the past. I've never done it for the league.
Okay.
Nope. Jumping right into this.
That's. But you should fare well in there.
I think it'll be all right.
Definitely, because I was going to ask you, did you aspire to do anything else in the league? But this seems to be enough. This is going to have your plate full for a minute.
Oh yeah. I'll be a GM somewhere one day. We'll see how long I can hang around here.
Yeah, it's very true. Yeah. I can see that. That's what you aspire to be eventually.
Own a team one day. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Sounds good. I don't see why not. Especially when the owners can look at your resume, what you've done in the league, and they can see that you've actually held high-ranking positions as league staff, or if you've been a GM for an odd amount of years, or if you've been a coach, they're more likely to give you those roles because they figure that you have so much time invested in the league, and You're not going anywhere.
That sounds good. That'll all work then.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what is the one thing that you're looking forward to for season 16?
Another playoff run.
Oh, okay, because you guys did a fantastic job.
We got in.
You did, and I wasn't sure.
We lost a heartbreaker to Florida for the second time last year, and I think we opened with them this year. So that's kind of becoming our arch nemesis.
Yeah, I watched that game. I actually talked to Wally about that, and when I talked to him about it, he was still kind of heartbroken. By that much. That much. But, I think that you guys got a really good squad over there. I think that you have really good leadership in Charles and with Wally kind of handling the business end of everything. Oh, yeah. I think you guys are going to definitely do well.
We're here to stay.
Now, since you are in the XxIntimaXx division, is there a particular team that you are looking forward to playing? And then are there teams that you're kind of like, man, we have to play them? Gosh, I don't want to play them.
That's not the way we work. We'll take anybody they line up in front of us. I'm looking forward, not in the XxIntimaXx division, but I'm looking forward to Florida. I want to get Florida. I do. Yeah. That much is payback time.
Yeah, that was a very interesting game to watch, though.
They were both great games to play into.
Very much so. And now on the league side of things, where do you see yourself? Well, actually, I'll just ask you this: where do you see yourself in 1 year's time, in life and in the SFL?
Well, retired already, so I'm going to stay retired. We like to do a lot of traveling, but this COVID has shut us down for an entire year. The year before, we went to Montana for a month. We drove all the way to Seattle, Washington, and back to Virginia. Did a lot. I drove through 37 states last year and saw this entire country. We want to do more of that, but we're kind of being shut down now. So I'd like to get back on the road again in a year. This would be my plan. In the SFL, right where I am. I'm in a good spot. I'm here to help with the progression, and I want to continue playing for Lone Star. So I'm right where I want to be. I hope I'm in the same spot next year this time.
Now, Yogi, you seem like you're a very, very kind-hearted individual. How do you handle the trash talk and adversity when it comes to, people, let's say if you're having a losing streak and people are coming talking about, well, I guess Lone Star glory wasn't as, what all they were cracked up to be. What do you say?
Bulletin board material. I use it to my advantage. Yeah, it's like when I played, I led my talking on the field. I didn't run my mouth. So I'll do the same here.
Okay. Sounds good. Going back to when you said you were traveling 37 states, so you traveled to 37 states. Which ones were your favorite?
Ooh, Montana is unbelievable. Colorado was neat. We woke up in the morning because we were going for Thanksgiving to see our daughter and son-in-law. We woke up in Denver to freezing rain and ice and snow, and the highway we were going to use was closed. So we said, well, I looked on the map. We found this other road to take. It took us through Breckenridge, Copper Mountain, Aspen, Vail, all the big ski resorts, up and down and up and down. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. The whole country is beautiful.
Yeah, I want to be able to do that someday, to be able to travel. There's different places that I haven't been and things like that. So I was just curious.
I enjoyed South Dakota. Got to ride through a park and ride through with buffalo. And every state has its own beauty. Mm-hmm. Every state. One of my favorites was coming home, and I always thought I'd like Arkansas. And I wasn't thrilled with Arkansas, but I fell in love with Oklahoma City. I mean, Oklahoma, not Oklahoma City. Oklahoma reminded me of Virginia. Rolling hills and green. It was beautiful.
Sounds like it. Like it, man. Tell me, what are some of your fondest memories in Charleston, and what is your one most memorable moment, I should say, that happened in Charleston and that happened in Lone Star for you?
Day one, first game was a memory. I couldn't believe it happened that quick. I had a 3-sack game, but it was a rookie season. You kind of dragged through it, got through it, and enjoyed it. Lone Star was making the playoffs. Surprising people, and how we did our draft. We set it up. We got everybody we wanted. It was pretty neat to see it from the inside like that.
Yeah, that was fun. Especially this past draft, that was absolutely amazing to be a part of. And that was my first time actually being on a draft panel. A little nervous because I didn't want to say anything stupid, but I'm glad I did my homework. So
you did just fine.
Awesome. So what do you think about your pickups, your new members of Lone Star?
Well, I guess we'll have to go for Trey next year because we got Deuce to go with Ace. Got to find another one. I love Evan. Because I coached Evan in San Jose, and he's awesome, dude. His story is unbelievable. You should get him on your show if you get a chance. I know Dave already did. Okay, good. Yeah, I like what we picked up. That was all we had. We only had 2 slots available. We got some free agents.
You said you coached over at the Flight, right?
I do all their progression pretty much.
Okay, so what was that like?
It's pretty neat to watch, because it's like sometimes I wonder, did I come in this bright-eyed and bushy-tailed like they do? I'm sure I did, but it's neat to see it again, from a different view. Yeah, they I guess because I'm already in the league, they kind of just respect your opinion. I don't tell them this is what you're going to do. I say, what do you want to make your player, and let me help you get there. And if their idea for their player is what I think is going to keep them from getting drafted, I try to help them correct it. Like a finesse back, as opposed to a power back. The league loves power backs. So, just things like that, I try to help tweak them and correct it for them and help them get drafted. We did pretty well this year because I got a new quarterback to track down now.
That's awesome, though, because I was always wondering because, you know, when we started, it was different how we actually came into the league. We didn't have the SFLM teams. We only had one game to kind of showcase our talent. And I was always wondering if you guys were as hands-on with the players in SFLM. Even something so simple as suggesting the right height and suggesting the right weight. Because oftentimes, if you try to be a wide receiver and you come in there, I don't know, my height at 5'3", no, right? You're not gonna do it. But
100%.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep, we are. We try to guide them so they will get drafted, because that's what they're there for. You know, at the end of the day.
So tell me about the process in general. So let's say somebody hits this chord and say, "Hey, I would like to play on an SFLM team." How does it work for them?
Well, they get assigned to teams by the director of player personnel. He assigns teams in a role. You know, it goes around in a circle and he pops a team, and whoever's up next, a player who's whoever's up next. Okay. Once we get our hands on them, I find out what they want their player to be. And, you know, like you said, one guy wanted to be 5'8", and I said, no, you don't want to be 5'8". You'll never get drafted. So I got him up to 6'3", and he got drafted. I guess people are trying to make their player similar to themselves, maybe, but I'm just trying to help them progress, try to have a decent team, and help them get drafted. And if we can do that, it's a win-win-win.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm looking forward to it. And you heard Chad is now going to be the new coach over at Lexington Miners.
I saw that.
Yeah. So that's going to be those are going to be some really good games to watch in April.
They are fun.
They are. And I like to try to keep up with everything and everybody, every game, every single game that happens in the SFL. I try my best to be there, whether it's for a minute or whether it's through the entire game, you know, because I think it's very good to be able to show your support for not only your team, but for others too, you know?
Exactly.
It's an awesome experience, man.
Yeah, I usually shoot you a heart or two on just about every game I see.
Oh, you do. But I see it, and I always appreciate it, Yogi. I really
love it. I love chatting with you.
I love chatting with you too, and you learn a lot from people that you never probably would have met otherwise.
That's right.
When you come to a league like this, and sometimes you're very apprehensive when you're doing anything online because you don't know what type of people that you're really dealing with. You don't know if somebody is catfishing you. You don't know if, you know, they're just telling you the right things to kind of get you, and then this league is not like that. And so that's why I always been so comfortable. Yes.
Far from it. Yeah, I agree.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on the show, Yogi. Did you have any questions for me before I let you go?
Nope. No, and I don't sing still.
I'm not going to ask you that. But I am thinking about, I do want to incorporate some new co-hosts every week for my show for the season 16. And if you're interested in being a co-host, I'd love to have you sometime. Well, if you can kind of work that in with all the other stuff you got to do.
It won't be that bad. I'll catch up with you one of these shows. I'll do it for you. Be
awesome.
happy to.
Awesome. Well, I cannot let you go, Yogi, without giving you the last word. So that can be a song. Of course, it's not a song, but a shout out or a poem. Right now, the floor is yours.
I just want to thank the SFL for the product that they're working on and continuing to work on, and curling the edges and everything they do. It's a great product. Just about everybody in it is happy to be in it, and it makes it a great product. That alone. I just think, from the top down, everybody who puts in their time and effort and makes this happen every year, twice a year, 2 seasons a year. It's a great league.
Awesome. Thank you, Yogi, and good luck to y'all this season, unless you're playing us.
No, we don't get to play you this year. We started with you last year. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to be here with you.
Always, Yogi.
Bye, my sister.
Bye, my brother. Bye. All right, in tying the evening off, I have my good friend with me, Mr. Tom Welsh. He is now San Diego's offensive coordinator and our new social media director. How are you doing?
Busy. That's the name, short answer to it. But other than that, I'm doing pretty great. How are you doing, Ashley?
I'm doing fantastic, man. I'm so glad you decided to celebrate your accomplishments with me today.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime. So the last time you and I spoke, you were the head of our content creation team.
Mm-hmm.
And so for those but before we go into that, for those that did not get a chance to see our last show, would you just give us a brief overview of yourself? So like your name, age, hometown, some interesting facts, and your favorite NFL team.
Yeah, for sure. Tom Welsh, 34 years old. I live in a town outside of Chicago, Illinois. So by association, I have to be a Bears fan, unfortunately. That's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
I coach college volleyball professionally here. It started as a passion when I was a player, and then kind of grew, and now it's what I do for a living. So I really enjoy it. And yeah, I was the director of audio and video alongside Jeff with the content team. I'm still kind of doing that from time to time, and really just helping out whenever video or audio is needed within the league, on top of the new duties I have.
All right, and Tom, how did you find us?
I found you guys. It was actually by I had channeling around the TV, found it one day, didn't really pay any attention. There's one of my little guys just jumping on me. Found it, didn't pay too much attention to it, and then ran into a news story with Johnny Pickler on it, because he lives just down the road from me, and kind of was like, oh, this might be something I want to get into, because at the time coaching was kind of at a standstill because of COVID, and really wanted to get my coaching itch and get, some sort of team feel, get back into the vibe of feeling like a team. So really kind of just started there.
Okay, so that's very interesting, because you and Johnny live right down the street from each other?
Yeah, not too far, maybe like 10, 15 minutes.
So have you guys, well, I know with COVID, it's kind of difficult for you to actually have like watch parties and things like that, but do you ever find yourself kind of watching some of the games with him, maybe on a phone call, maybe on a Zoom meeting like this?
Oh yeah, I watch a lot of Louisiana stuff. When I was first coming into the league, I was with St. Louis. I was their director of communications and working to be their offensive coordinator this year, and then things kind of changed. But really reached out to Johnny when I was getting started, because he was still technically part of the team. So I had talked to him, and we had found out that we were close to each other, so we kind of talked. And Mark Gronick, who's not far from us, there, and Tony Roberto is not far. So a lot of the St. Louis guys, we all kind of had that connection where we were within 15, 20 minutes of each other, and kind of grew that. So it was kind of a nice little connection that we had there. So
what was it like being over there in St. Louis?
I enjoyed my time there. It was definitely a learning experience, and definitely, one that helped me kind of get a feel for the league. And Dwayne and Colin and Drew and everybody over there was so great with me, and they really kind of let me do what I wanted when it came to social media content and graphics and stuff like that. And they really appreciated everything that I did. So, it was a great place to kind of start my journey in the league.
And you are definitely good at what you do, because for those that don't know, Tom is responsible for my opening graphics and for my ending graphics. So when I got that, when you made those for me, because I was looking for something that would just fit the personality of the show and fit my personality, period. And when you put that together, I was like, this is amazing. And it didn't take you long either. So you're very good at what you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's come with a lot of years of experience, and it started as a hobby, then turned into a career down the road, and then kind of not enjoyed it so much, and then now it's kind of back to being a hobby again. So it's kind of come full circle, and I really enjoy, making stuff, and definitely helping people out whenever they need it.
Amazing. And what was the conversation, and tell us the journey from you going from St. Louis all the way to San Diego as their offensive coordinator?
Yeah, it was kind of like it happened fairly quickly. Javier Vasquez, our quarterback, and we grew pretty close together throughout the season and put a bid in for a team when expansion teams were coming out, and he was deciding on leaving, and really him and I grew that connection where we wanted to kind of stay together, and he helped me a lot, learning down because he's the head coach down in Ottawa, and I was the offensive coordinator for Ottawa this past year, so he helped me a lot learn, and I really kind of wanted to keep that connection going, and if we ever wanted a team down the road, we felt like if we stuck together, that would kind of be the best bet. And talked to Optimus, night of the championship game, and kind of realized that we all had the same goals and ambitions and wanted to do the same kind of thing, so we all kind of just hopped on board there, and really felt like Javier and I felt like if we didn't get a team, this is the next closest thing to it, where it's an expansion team and we get free reins on what we want to do offensively and defensively and stuff like that, with him being that coach and me being the offensive coordinator.
Well, it seems like everybody's been getting their wishes lately. When you actually watch the show back, both Chad and Yogi have some great stories on how basically they spoke things into fruition and they wound up coming true. So
yeah, I know, it's crazy, right?
It is very much so. So, how did it feel being the audio and visual person for our content creation team?
It was good. It was tough. Jeff and I both kind of felt like we didn't accomplish everything that we wanted to accomplish. Going into it, Jeff leaving because of family issues, and hopefully we have him back one day. And me, it was hard getting everybody kind of on the same page and getting everything together. So then the position kind of morphed into me helping out whenever I needed with anybody I needed, helping you out, helping Dave Access out, helping some other teams out, just kind of being the overall, video person that if somebody wanted a project that they couldn't do as a team, then they would kind of contact me, or if they wanted some help with questions or audio or anything along those lines, I was kind of the guy to help out. So it kind of started in one position, then morphed into another one, and still kind of learning how to get everything together. So we really, we're really still working, and I know Cam's still looking for somebody to take over Jeff's place, and he had offered me that role as well, but it was kind of just like, well, I felt like I was, might be more useful in the new role that I'm in now. So
speaking of that new role as social media director, what inspired you to apply for that position in the first place?
It was one where Cam and I had talked, a while ago about a lot of things, and we really bonded and connected, and he always wanted me to have a part of something. And when it came down to Jeff's role, it was between Jeff and I. So, he really saw something in me that I appreciated. And, a lot of my background is social media. And he contacted me when everything went down and was like, are you interested? Would you want to be a part of this? And, we talked a little bit and went over a bunch of things and had about an hour and 15-minute long meeting the other day about everything, and kind of came to the conclusion that that this is the right step and this is the right direction for the league and for myself. So
all right. And so what do you plan on doing differently to help the SFL grow as a league and to draw more attention to it?
Yeah, definitely. That's something that Cam and I had talked about, and really what we want to focus on right now is the individuals, the people that are a part of the league, and making sure that they feel like the league has their back and that they're noticed, basically. And we really want to focus on consistency and posting on every sort of platform and making sure that we're kind of out there and coming up with schedules and not just graphics and cool logos and stuff like that, just really kind of focusing on the greater good of everything.
Oh, he had something to say about that too.
He did. I don't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but he had something to say.
Awesome. Now I've noticed that more tweets from SFL teams are being retweeted, more content from teams are being retweeted. Was that a priority for you to focus on?
Yeah, absolutely. That was kind of one of the biggest things that we wanted. Sorry about that.
Okay. Maybe he wants to be on camera too.
They might want to be. They're kind of crazy right now. Yeah, that was the biggest thing that we wanted to hit on, was making sure that everybody felt that they were a part of the league and felt like the league, saw their creations and their posts and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things was making sure that if we were tagged in a post, then that we saw it, and that it was noticed by the league, and we appreciate them posting it and stuff like that. So that was definitely one of my big things coming forward, was making sure that people understood that they're being seen and they're being noticed by the league.
True. And that, as a content creator, I really do appreciate that, because when you do spend all the time working on your projects and things like that, you do want the league to take notice, and you do want them to show you, like, hey guys, we're here, we're doing it, we're trying to get our name out there so we can grow, and I kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it was probably 1A, if not 1B, on the scale of things that we wanted to get accomplished right off the bat, because we really want this to grow into, a community job, basically. It's not just me doing everything. It's, the community and the group and everybody kind of helping out and doing everything they possibly can to make it better.
Okay, so how do you plan on making the impact as the offensive coordinator of San Diego? Fresh new team, new kids on the block. Your strong safety, Mr. Mike Ryan, mentioned on his show that y'all was probably going to go like 2-10. No, I didn't say it. He did.
He said it. That's disappointing.
I told him at least 4-8, man. You got to get,
It's always tough for expansion teams to be successful right off the bat in any league, not just our league, but in any professional league. And Jacob Clear, our GM, did an excellent job of recruiting and getting guys in here. So we're not a team on offense, especially, and not a team that's full of rookies or young guys. We're full of veterans and guys that can contribute right from the jump. So, we're lucky enough to have that on the offensive side. On the defense, we have a few rookies, but, we have two of the best rookies, one of the best linebackers in the SFLM and one of the best strong safeties. So, we have the talent to be successful, and, we're young, hungry coordinators, myself and Jacob Clear, and we want to prove that, we know what we're doing and can do it. And, week one is always a crapshoot, so nobody ever knows how it's going to go. So it's going to be exciting and nerve-wracking and stuff like that. But, we got the roster file. We're doing some sims tonight and tomorrow and submitting the book and hoping for the best. So, it's going to be exciting. It was exciting running the offense down in Ottawa. This is going to be a totally different story, though.
Awesome. And, that's why I couldn't agree with Mike on that one, because I did see who you all have over there. Javier Marquez Vasquez. I mean, he did his thing in the SFLM. So, once you work out the bugs and everything, I think you guys will be just fine. Now, is there particular teams that you're looking forward to playing? And are there particular teams that you're like, man, why did Cam put them on our schedule?
We're excited to play LA right off the bat. The battle for California. Tomorrow night, Optimus and myself, we're going to be on their podcast, and we're going to talk about the rivalry and everything. And we hope we're successful and we come out with a victory. But with being week 1, we don't know. We both sides wish that we played each other again. So hopefully we'll be able to see them down the road this season, if not in the playoffs or whenever. But, we really wish we had them. Me personally, I wish we had St. Louis just to see some friendly faces and kind of, go against them. I'm sure Javier would feel the same way, not out of bad blood or anything like that, but more so just out of friendly competition. But, as for somebody that I wish we didn't see, there's a few playoff teams on the schedule that I wish we didn't have to play. But, in order to be the best, you got to beat the best. So we got to see how we stack up against them, and we'll just have to go from there.
Yeah, I totally feel the same way. You've seen our schedule. Baltimore's first game to start the whole season off.
Yep.
so then you got Denver, we got Sioux Falls. But I think Bernard said it best when he says Cam did not put us in that division without thinking about it. He knew what we are capable of, and it's just about putting the right plays together. Now, are you guys going to be hands-on with the player progressions for your team, or are you going to kind of let them do what they want to do?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. We have kind of like a plan for each guy, and for some of the guys that are older that know what they're doing and have an idea of what they want to do with their player, we're going to kind of let them do that. But for some of the younger guys, we have a progression plan that they want and that we think would be beneficial for them that we're going to roll with and help them get better.
Okay, so 2 more questions. I know the little ones need you back.
Yeah. See, he was just by the door. He was like,
I saw him. So my first question is, where do you see yourself in a year's time? And that's in SFL and in real life.
Man, definitely still see myself helping grow the community and helping grow the league as social media director. Hopefully gaining a larger team and really kind of helping other people, shine, helping them, do what they want to do and get better and everything like that. Definitely see myself in San Diego helping grow this organization and really making sure that we, hit the goals that we want to achieve down the road. As for real life, man, I mean, if the pandemic didn't teach you anything, you never know what the future is going to bring. Health and happiness for myself and my wife and our 2 awful dogs that we have, as you hear. But they know that. Just continuing to kind of, pave my way through the world and leave positive marks wherever I can. That's for sure.
Wonderful. And then what is your advice for someone that wants to start creating content for the SFL? Definitely do it. Contact me if you want help. Tom Welsh on Discord. If you want to get involved doing social media stuff with the league, definitely contact me. If you want to, get noticed, let me know. The best way to do something is to create it and then, go from there. We had a lot of people when Jeff and I were starting out that wanted to help out and really kind of would send some stuff and be like, hey, what do you think of this?
I'm always up for, critiquing, so to speak, work, trying to help people get better, because I'm always the same. I'll always reach out to somebody and be like, hey, what do you think of this? Do you think it looks good? And, two eyes are better than one, and two pairs of eyes are better than one. And really just, if you want to create, just go out there and create, and, by all means, reach out if you need to.
No, I know I do often. So.
And I love it.
Did you have any questions for me before I let you go?
No, ma'am. I think we kind of touched on everything. It's always a pleasure to be a part of the show. Sorry about the two dogs. It's their dinner time, and mom's not home to help them. She's out having fun, so.
Hey, listen, I understand. I told you before, I've had dogs, birds, babies, all kind of stuff. So it's all right. All a part of the family too. So,
right.
But before I let you go, I have to give you the last word. So that can be a song, that could be a poem, or that can be a simple shout out. Right now, the floor is yours.
Shout out to everybody in San Diego. We're super excited for Sunday to come, and, everybody's eager to get going. It's been a long off season, at least it felt that way. We're ready to go, and we're ready to take on LA and ready to show people what we're about. Shout out to Cam for giving me this opportunity. I'm super thrilled and excited to be working alongside him and continuing to help, his baby grow and reach the goals that he wants to reach. Shout out to you again for having me on the show. I always love being a part of the show and helping out, and, look forward to continuing to be on it and helping the league grow. That's the biggest thing.
Sounds good to me. I will be having some special co-hosts every week. I'm going to try to change it up, and we're going to go over games together. So if you want to do it, I'll be happy to have you on again.
Always would love to.
All right, man. You have a beautiful, blessed day, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you. You too, Ashley.
All right,
and that is it. Thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate your time. Also, special thanks goes out to Yogi and Tom and Chad for being on the show and letting us celebrating their newfound success with us tonight. But I'm really, really looking forward to season 16, see how all of the practice and hard work these coaches have put into the playbooks for their off season is going to pan out for us. And even seeing how far and how well the new expansion teams are going to do. Will they fold? Nah, I don't think so. But thank y'all for tuning in. Stay safe. Treat each other well. Striker.